What's up, everybody? Welcome back. My name is Jeremy, and this is going to be my 2023 in the bag for the upcoming tournament season. So, I've done a lot of reworking with this bag over the off season and towards the end of last season, but I'm very excited to show you what I have in store for my lineup. But I want to give a big shout out to iFlame Plastic, Expand Disc Golf, and Hair Construction as my main sponsors for this year. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So, we're going to start off with the putting putters. I'm carrying the Soft Omega 4 from Millennium. So, these are going to be my primary putting putters. Last year I was putting with the KC Pro Whales. I liked them, but I wanted to try something else. I was always a big fan of the P2 from Discmania or the AVR from Innova. And this is basically the same thing, just in a softer plastic. They feel really nice. I've always been kind of more of a stiffer plastic type person, but this is kind of like just the most amount of softness I want. Very grippy, and they feel great in my hands. So really excited to be using the Omega 4 stuff here. Now let's get into some throwing putters. I really reworked this section in my bag, and this is kind of huge for me because I really wasn't a big throwing putter guy or approach guy. Well, approach guy is a little bit of a loose term, but so I really revamped my throwing putter game, and I think it's one of the best selections I've ever had since I started playing. So first up, we got this Cosmic Neutron Axiom Proxy. This is going to be like my super straight point shoot type approach putter. Not necessarily for headwinds, but it feels great in my hand, and it can really just go in a nice straight line. Really, really dependable and really reliable. Next up, we've got another Proxy, but this is a Neutron Proxy with the Milwaukee Brewers old school baseball gloves logo on it. Shout out to Luke Barstow over at It Dies, It Flies for hooking me up with this. This Proxy is a little bit more stable. I would say more neutral than not, but this one I can put a little more power behind compared to the Cosmic Electron one, and it does feel really good in my hand. So I can put, like I said, I can put some more power behind it, and it's just going to go laser straight with a little bit more fade than the Electron one will. So definitely a great find for this year. But even better, as we're going more stable, we got a Bucky Badger Neutron Envy. Again, shout out Luke Barstow, The Dies It Flies. The Envy has been really one of my favorite throwing putters since I really made the switch. Feels great in the hand. Goes forever. This one in particular goes laser straight with that reliable finish at the very end. So I'm looking forward to be using this particular Envy a lot this season. And then lastly, for the approach disc, you got one approach disc. This is a Innova Champion Toro, the newer dummy Champion Toros. It's got the Shark Tooth Spiral Swirl that Calvin Heimer designed. Feels great in the hand. It's a little bit more straighter than some other Toros I've thrown. That's fine. It still has the dependable fade, pretty dependable wind fighter, and it just overall feels good in the hand. Really like it for the forehand shots, up shots, probably within 100 feet, maybe 125 or so. Feels really good in the hand. Let's get into some mid-ranges. Right now, I'm only carrying 3 to 4 mid-ranges right now, but I really feel confident with these mid-ranges. First up, we have this Millennium Aurora MS. It's very similar to like a Buzz type disc or flies like a Mako 3-ish, but it feels very good in the hand. I can flip this up to flat. It's going to have a little bit of turn, but then it's still going to want to finish flat. So that's really good for exactly what I need. If I want to put something a little bit higher, let it ride, flip up, this is the disc I'll choose. And next up is my main workhorse that I'll be using. This is a MVP Neutron Reactor. Feels super great in the hand. Flat top, as you can see, it's board flat. Very, very, very straight flyer with the tiniest bit of fade at the very end. Feels great in the hand. I can put a lot of power behind it, and it's just going to want to go straight forever. I really love the feel of this disc. It's been in my bag ever since like mid-2021. It's that good, and it still flies the exact same. And then lastly, we have a Millennium Quantum Solstice. This is very similar to like an MD4 from Discmania. Straight with some overstability, but it flies mainly straight and then fades at the very, very end of the flight. So it's great in hand. I've always loved the MD4 ever since I started using it a couple of years ago. I don't know exactly how long ago I started using the MD4, but the Solstice, as I venture more into Millennium, has been a very solid choice and a very, very close, if not exact clone of the MD4. So definitely check out a Millennium Solstice. Now let's get into some fairways. I got a very, very large stack of fairways. And that's because here in Wisconsin, we like to use a lot of fairways. That's pretty much what all the shots call for in the woods. A lot of shots are between the 200 and the 300 foot range. So mid-range is the play, or not mid-range, fairway is the play. So first up, we have this Milwaukee Bucks Neo Instinct from Discmania. Shout out to Eric Raymond over at Double Eagle Dives for hooking me up with this. This one's beaten into a consistent flyer, flips up with some straight flight, and then has a very, very tiny fade at the very end. But very good shot shaper in the woods, and I can't wait to keep using this out in the course this year. Next up is a new disc in the bag that's going to stay in the bag. This is a Innova Star Eagle. I actually got this from a good friend of mine, Kevin Arriaga, fellow teammate on Expand. Shout out to him. Ever since he gave this to me, I was really, really intrigued how it flies. I haven't thrown an Eagle in a couple of years, and this Eagle flies amazing. I can flip it up, it's going to carry, but it's going to have a lot more fade than the Instinct does. But it's better for sidearms. I can handle a lot more sidearm torque compared to the Instinct, but this is a really, really nice disc, and it's going to be something I'm going to be relying on for like some straight, slight turnover forehands that's going to fade back really nice to the left for me. And then I'm trying something new recently. I always carried this Essence. This is my most beat up Essence from Discmania. Very lightweight, very flippy. I can flip this up and it's just going to want to go. So this is mainly a utility disc. It doesn't get used a ton, but when I really need something, like I need to throw uphill on a hyzer flip, this is the disc for it. So this is kind of like a utility disc. But I'm starting to bag another Essence. So this is a newer one, a little bit heavier. It's a lot more stable than that pink one. So I really like the feel of this one a lot. I actually been using it a little bit. But this is going to be kind of like that flip up. It's going to turn a little bit, but it's ultimately going to go straight at the very most. It's got a little bit more turn than the Instinct does, but still what I'm going to be relying on for something that needs something to flip up with a little bit more turn, but it's not going to burn over like the pink Instinct would. So definitely going to be experimenting with this throughout the year. And then we have a Millennium Orion LF in the Quantum plastic. I was given this, again, Kevin Arriaga gave this to me, and he didn't want it, so he gave it to me. This thing goes laser straight for a 9-speed. I used to throw one of these way back in the day, probably like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago already. This thing flies laser straight with almost like the finish like the Instinct should have brand new. So that'd be like a 2 fade, and it does exactly that. It goes laser straight, minimal turn, maybe a little bit of turn. I take that back, but it goes laser straight and finishes with the tiniest bit of fade. It's just like a longer version of that Instinct. Next up, we have an Axiom Neutron Wrath. So this is going to be something I use quite a bit. Brand new disc to me as of this year. Really, really, really good pickup. I really like the feel of this disc. I wanted something in the Thunderbird type slot, but the Thunderbird felt a little wonky to me, so I kind of switched over to this, and it feels amazing. Really good for forehands, really good for some power backhands that go laser straight, a little bit straighter than the Orion, but still have that more overstability at the very end. So this feels really good in the hand, first of all, and then is very dependable, going very straight for a really long time, and then finishing right for me on a backhand. So definitely worth the try on this disc. And then this one's been going kind of in and out as I work my way through it. This is a Discmania Doombird II FD3. Simon Zot's one of my favorite players, and I've had this disc for a really long time already. This is my primary overstable 9-speed disc when I first started doing tournaments. It's seasoned into where I can flip it up, and it's going to go straight and then fade probably like 225, 250. So this is more of like a straighter. It's more like a more overstable Wrath, but definitely has a little bit more flip-up potential than my next disc will. So this is going to be in and out of the bag this season, but I like to have it around kind of like as a good luck charm because it's one of my favorite runs of discs ever. And the last one I'll be using quite a bit is this Millennium Calvin Heinberg Draco. Board flat, absolute meat hook. Definitely something I can trust in the wind. For quick story, I was a couple weeks ago, or less than a week ago, I was on a tournament, and this was my primary upshot disc. Yeah, it was that windy. So the Draco is super overstable, handles wind perfectly. I can throw this on flat, and it's going to want to go like this. Yeah, so that's basically all you need to know about it. Super overstable type utility fairway driver. And then last up, we got the distance drivers. We only got 5 here. I'll be experimenting with these a little bit because I don't have necessarily the distance anymore, so I'm going to be working with a little bit more of the unstable variety. But I got some stable stuff in here that's going to help me get out there. So I got another Discmania disc. This is a Neo Enigma. Thank you, Eric, over at Double Eagle Dives, once again for helping me, hooking me up with this. I've featured this one on my channel, not my channel, but my Instagram account before. You've seen this one, you've heard the story behind it. This disc is pretty special to me as well, because it's the second version of this disc, or this die job, I should say. As far as the disc itself, it's stable enough where it can get flipped to flat, carry straight, and then finish pretty easily. It can hold a nice anhyzer and then land flat, and it feels really good in the hand. So you'll see me throw the Enigma quite a bit this year. Next up, we have another Discmania disc. This is a Cloudbreaker 1D3. I got this beat up already, so it was pretty used. A little bit lighter weight, but as I continue to use this, it's gotten to a point where it's flipping up and it's turning a little bit mid-flight. Feels, like I said, it feels very, very good in the hand. This is probably going to be something I use a lot side by side with the Enigma, but it feels so good in the hand and it feels very comfortable. For me, if I'm throwing forehands with this, it's going to be flipping up to flat with some turn, but ultimately it's going to fade out the very end pretty strongly like a DD3 should. So yeah, definitely going to be playing around with this Cloudbreaker a little bit more this year. And then probably another one of my favorite discs I have in the bag is a Yoshi's Island Champion Destroyer from Innova. Super overstable, definitely can handle the wind pretty easily. This is going to be something I use for a little bit more of a flex line, or I need something that's going to want to fade out really quickly. Feels pretty good in the hand. Definitely something I'm going to be using quite a bit to fight wind or flex shots, or I need something on a big hyzer line for left hand, backhand. But yeah, this is going to be my main super overstable distance driver. And then last but not least, we've got another set of discs that are new to the bag this year. This is a Millennium Sirius Falcon. So this has got the Mad City stamp on it from last year. I've been really toying around with Falcons. I need something that's going to flip up a little bit more, and it's going to have a little bit more turn compared to like the Destroyer or the Cloudbreaker. But this feels really good in my hand, and this blue in particular is super flippy. So I can probably flip this up, and it's going to want to ride pretty easily. But it still feels really good. I can really trust it with a tailwind. I can get a good bomb out of it. I'm going to be really playing around with this. I'm really starting to like the Falcon a little bit. I just got to get used to hyzer flipping in all my angles with it. And this is another Falcon. This is a Philo Brathwaite signature run. Very domey, if you can't tell right there, but very pop-toppy. Feels really good in the hand. This is a little bit more stable than that blue Falcon. So I can flip it up a little bit, but it's not going to turn as much. I'm still trying to, like I said, I'm still trying to get used to these, but I'm really liking them so far. Hopefully they'll start working their way into becoming my main distance driver, or maybe even just like a utility driver in the worst case scenario. But really starting to like the Falcon for like my stable, or like my neutral to slightly understable distance drivers. And that's going to be all my discs, I believe. Yep, that's all my discs. So thank you so much for watching. Once again, thank you to Expand Disc Golf, iFlame Plastic, Hair Construction for supporting me this year, and as well as every single one of you that is watching and supporting me on every single platforms. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.